Cool.
Okay, well, welcome back here. It is week 3 of the cricket match between Simo and I, as we are now here in calling the Audible.
Week 3.
Full house.
It's the worst game of all time.
It's a thriller. It has gone 3 weeks long.
It's only a thriller because you gave up.
I didn't give up.
And Jim felt bad for you.
It is Division E1, E2. Simo Dajane to my left. Peeze back in the saddle.
Hey.
Thank God.
How's it going?
GM now to my right with a donut, or now a single donut.
A single donut, yeah.
There's a Boston cream pie over there.
I love Boston
Not a
cream.
pie,
That's my
but a
favorite.
Boston cream donut. And Eagles. What's the nickname we have from now today? What's his name?
Dayquil?
Dayquila.
Dayquil.
Dayquil.
Yes. NyQuil.
I've heard worse.
Or NyQuil, yeah.
NyQuil.
So I wasn't here last week, so
It was the best show
there's
of all time.
no. So here's the
Worst
thing.
show.
I will
No,
say.
it wasn't.
I will say. So
terrible.
I actually I had
You-
passed out.
you.
I had passed out from pain medication. Actually, I'll tell a side story first. I hurt my wrist, and for a while,
From what?
breaking rocks in my backyard,
Okay.
chain gang style, gardening. So
A nice pig over there, right? Gold
no, it was with a shovel. It was stupid. It's 100% stupid.
Shocker.
Yeah. I don't use the right things, and then I get hurt, just like in love. But so
Oh.
the thing that
Maybe you're no longer engaged?
oh yeah,
Okay.
happily.
That's
But
sad,
you know,
I don't know.
how happy can anyone be while engaged? So the thing is that I, like, so for first little while, my hand was really swollen and I couldn't move it, and I couldn't move my fingers at all, whatever. And like Natalia kept joking that it looked like a prosthetic hand. In which case, I took every opportunity to like mannequin stroke her face, and she found it really creepy.
Now, hold on. Was this like the movie The Fugitive?
Yeah, the one-armed man.
One-armed man? You
Yeah.
had that type of...
Richard Kimball. I was
Yeah.
Dr. Richard Kimball.
Yes. You were. You got to look like Richard Kimball.
Thanks,
too.
man. I got that beard going.
Yes.
And that led me to, so I actually took a bunch of painkillers for this. I had passed out, so I wasn't able to come to the show. I couldn't drive.
So the
I'm
first
more
thing
responsible
you-
than Tiger Woods. I'm better than Tiger Woods. Both at love and at driving, but not at golf.
Not
Uh,
at driving golf clubs.
yeah.
Also, the first thing you did with a numb hand was mannequin face people.
Yeah. I mannequin faced her as much as possible. It was not a turn on.
We'll pretend that's
But
true.
so I woke up, saw the show for like 12 seconds, at which Simo was filibustering with nonsense, and there was things that he was talking about, of which I don't remember at the moment.
Easily verifiable fact.
Easily verified, and that's the thing, fact, not like
Not
opinion,
opinion,
fact.
fact.
So like to quote Neil deGrasse Tyson, while everyone's entitled to their own opinion, no one is entitled to their own fact, except Simo and Dajane, who could have found out the truth by one Facebook message all the time.
Listen.
Instead, would just make shit up all the time.
Listen, that's the only reason you're here. Is to get the right information
Yeah, I
to
know.
compensate for my nonsense.
How-
But then you
hold
let
on here.
you dropped the ball.
Turn off
Volkan
the
could have also done it.
Eagle, turn off.
How long do I have left to be nice to you? 5 days? No, not 5 weeks. It was in a month. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Don't try and sneak extra. I mean, Simo, you're wonderful and beautiful. What'd you see this week, the Vivo God?
I don't know. Anyway, it was the worst show possible for Division E, so we apologize because Peeze hurt his wrist doing something. Anyway,
It's not our fault.
I was thinking of Mina Khan.
You probably were. Let's talk about the week that was. In week 3, Peeze, what caught your attention from week 3's action?
I haven't loaded the page yet. That's why I asked you first, Mo. But
I'll
I
go first.
will-
Okay, Brewers ECW. So initially, I thought this game was a Division D.
Which one? Easy win?
Yeah,
I don't know if my mic's still off. Probably.
It's on. I
Still
can hear you.
I thought
That
this was
doesn't
Division
mean anything.
D1 game.
No, easy win is the difference is there. We were there together.
Yes, we were
So-
not together. We were on separate fields
Well,
watching
no,
together.
we were together.
Yes.
We were hand
Yeah,
in
you
hand.
don't get to
on
put a
the
label on
sidelines.
it. You don't get to put a label on it. It's 2018. 2018.
Hashtag me too. It's fine. So.
I don't think that's the
Yeah,
direction
it's not
any of us
the-
want to go with
no,
that.
Not at all.
So,
Anyway,
anyways,
let's go with this.
Brewers are one of the weakest team in the division, playing against a team that has guys that are too strong for the division. It's not that their playing style's too good. It's they have a few players that are freak athletes that are uncoverable by guys who don't necessarily play football.
This was like an FBS game against an FCS team over here. This was no competition. This was men against boys here, and I really thought this was Division D1. I go, boy, man, this team is really good with Sio Levine and a few other guys from all hooks.
But it is like all hooks.
It is all hooks.
But just like Jeremy White's, and that's why they were putting E2 is because we didn't know how Jeremy White, because there's a chance that
Oh,
he
we
would
know
be
now.
very good, but there's also a chance he would be Simon Dajne
Hey,
Or Matt Kerouac.
or Matt Kerouac. That was a
got
mistake.
hurt by
We're
the
working on it though.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Peeze
Which
Delarize.
sucks,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So
Oh.
Matt Kerouac's going to be the next Peace Delarize. But anyway,
what do you mean?
we'll get
gonna
there.
But the thing is, you look at the Brewers, right, with Jeff Lefebvre throwing for them, and boy, it was a rough day for him. He didn't have a good day throwing the football.
He's also
So what-
facing a defense. that-
When I saw him added to the team, I didn't think he would help, to be honest.
He does. He does. Like it's.
I don't
better.
think so. So he's never been a successful FBF quarterback? GM. But so while GM tries to remember, I will say I don't remember him being a successful FBF quarterback. But on top of that, they just have a large group of guys who don't understand the game. They need somebody to go and coach them up and teach them a route tree, teach them how to cover, teach them
But
defensive
Jeffrey
concepts.
could do that though.
Eagle and I went once to help them, but the guys were just completely new. He can. I don't know if he's doing that. I think he just was a supplant.
They're dumbfounded.
Then again, I would say that Eric Palusiak on the roster can bring some of that, I'll call it veteran experience, especially in the lower divisions. I mean, those two signings they made in the offseason seem like it was a move in the right direction.
Oh,
and it
it's
just
an
might take a few
improvement.
weeks to get there.
You know this echoes like that lower tier team trying to get that veteran that on their last legs, and these guys are not.
Like
Brandon
Woody
Marshall
Harrelson,
of
the
Seahawks.
semi-pro,
Exactly.
got traded for a washing machine.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Brandon
Jeffrey.
Marshall,
Lefebvre.
the Seahawks.
Yeah. Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
But so GM, like, do you remember him being like an FBF
So
quarterback?
he's not the first person who comes to mind for me as a quarterback. Like he's known more for his receiver
Yeah,
and
of course.
defensive skills. He's had not great starts previously. What I'm seeing here, like in the stats department, Gotham, he has a few attempts here for like 5 TDs, 2 interceptions, 6 sacks. But he does, for both the touch circuit and the flag circuit, have like a decent amount of knowledge to do with the game, and this will help them. It'll be paramount for them in getting that experience and finding out what works for them.
I just know that, and the three of us here, Mo, Simo, and I, can vouch this is the first time you start throwing FPF and the rusher comes in and your footwork is disaster because you're just not used to reading the defense. You're not used to having the rusher bear
No.
down on you. All the knowledge in the world is nice, but getting the rhythm and flow playing quarterback, it takes
But
a
this was the
handful of
wrong
games.
team
before.
for him to go up against. This was
Without
not-
And
Also-
against a far superior roster.
Like it's a
Yeah.
far killer roster.
And I was going to say, just add all that in terms of learning the quarterback position, or at least a little bit more solidly, with a group of people who are still learning the game as well. So not only are you trying to learn how to manage it, but you're also learning how to manage them. And
Yeah.
so I think that's definitely one of the things that you're going to have to improve upon this season.
But we saw it. Mo and I went on the field, and you saw it. He would throw the ball, let's say, at the slot receiver, and the defender that was covering the white out made a play on the ball because the ball floated for so long that he left his position to go play the ball elsewhere, and he had time to make up after speed and the time to make up and make an interception on that ball, which is not something that should happen. But it's also the sort of defense that easy win is.
They ran the route for him essentially.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They knew where to be in the underneath passing
Yeah.
field, and I just think the Brewers have a long way to go before we can ever consider. If they make the playoffs, they're not going to be the E1 side of the bracket. They're going to be
No.
the E2 and probably the lower half of that bracket.
Division 2 teams from Division 6D that I thought would be better in the spring season. One has been better. One has been far worse, and that is Clinkers and Krakens.
Clickers.
Taking off the rails quick. Clinkers and Marc-André Delaunay, I thought his first season, I don't remember someone who I've spoken to who was learning the position of quarterback who absorbed as much information as quickly as he did.
It's actually interesting to see how quickly he came from being, let's say, a receiver in FPF, being a snapper, to playing quarterback and being successful really quickly. Like a lot of people, they have this one bad season where they don't really belong and they struggle. His first season,
He never had that.
he was top 5. He was borderline all-star. So now you put the same guy who was borderline all-star in his first season, you put him in his second season with a slightly
But
better
they
receiving
kind of
pass.
moved up. No, sorry, they were in Division 6. So yeah,
Yes.
so they're technically kind of in the same division.
But now he knows
but
what he's doing, right?
Yes, and adding Alexandre Joubeville helps the team greatly because you
Helps
have
with
now.
defense.
Not only that, you
Spread
have
the field.
two guys who can contribute 2 ways in Division 3/B, let's say. Like that's a big deal. And on the other side, though, because we'll talk a little bit about Clinkers in a little bit, teaser professionalism right here.
That's
Krakens, Simo, this is a team that you loved and then hated, and then they hated you, and now you hate them
Yeah,
again.
he loves them again.
Do you love them
No,
again?
I hate
think-
them again.
Yeah.
So what's wrong? Is it just the absence of Anthony Beauchamp-Freza?
They were missing a few guys for the game, which doesn't help.
But they've been awful all season.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of a bunch of guys. It's the summer, so it's always tough to show up. Every team has the same issue where you're gonna miss guys every now and then, because either they can't make the games due to schedule issues, or they can't make the game because it's the summer and I have other things to do. So
No, you don't.
okay, not me per se, but yeah, I think Krakens is a bit of everything. It's a bit of you have a different group. Your best players are not necessarily there. They might be fighting. They might have a tougher schedule coming off the bat than they did in Division 6. I think it's a mix of a few things, and they're not necessarily the team that will persevere when things don't go their way. They'll give up. If you're down 20-0, you'll see that they give up really quickly and they give up the game.
I saw the amateur sacks
I was gonna say there are a bunch of guys who love the sack.
and replacements game with once again Simon
They love big
Dagenet.
balls.
Yeah, they do.
It's on the shirt.
I saw it. My favorite jersey of the season so far.
I think the highlight of this game when Simon and I saw it was their player for sacks go down in a huff and
Oof.
puff. It was,
Yeah.
and look, I think the advice I would give to Division E2 teams is you better have a quarterback that doesn't lob throws, because as Simon said it perfectly, the difference with a Division A quarterback and Division E obviously is they're better, but the fact the ball comes in so quickly, you don't have guys converge, which will cause a tremendous typhoon of a car crash. And that's what happened, and that was probably the story of the game for the Sacks team. They just couldn't get going from that point onwards, and they were just stuck in park the entire way.
Mo, is this advice based off of analysis or advice based off experience?
More analysis,
Ew.
because you saw the ball like literally sail for like 16 hours.
There are, and like the thing is, like I know we like to take shots at Mo, me more than most, but I
You
will
got
say,
more
I will say, I know what Mo's talking about, and it's not just like a post that hangs a little bit over the middle of the field. There are balls that literally come out of quarterbacks' hands looking like punts.
No, it's going up
Great hang time.
and then down.
But they're not spirals. They're spinning out of control. They're not
Right,
going to
yeah.
where they're
That's
intended.
what happened is, like Mo described, 5 guys played the same ball.
And the play calling is not good either. So you have 3 or 4 guys running to that spot
Yeah.
and converging on one area.
But
Frank Teoli Colatrella.
Simon's favorite boy, BFF.
He actually
Mo-
he had written to me in the off season, in which I didn't answer the email because I was like on
Shocker.
vacation.
Yes.
Sounds like
but
you.
but then we had a conversation once the season started. I was like, "Yo, dude, I just saw your email. Super sorry." And it was just about some play calling and stuff. And it seems like he just again quickly learning the game and understanding it. His biggest issue has been sort of getting his players on board with what they need to do in terms of route running and being consistent and being in the right place. And so one of the things I had to learn was learning spacing. So timing is more than just running the route at the right depth. It's also understanding the spacing between you and another receiver and the timing that your route needs to come open, and understanding the whole play on the whole. And I feel like the guys from replacements, all of them just sort of do what they want to do, and all of them want the ball at once.
Look, I think they had a bit of that underneath stuff working well for them. I thought they used their guys very well to get the first downs. But the thing is, this is a team that lacks a true burner, so to speak here. They like to go with the deep ball, but they don't have a guy that can stretch and blow off the top of the defense. And
No, but he doesn't. He also doesn't have the best of arms to throw these balls. He's better off using those underneath patterns that work better for them. We've seen it. They were successful when they went underneath, and then he started running a little bit. Then he bought sometimes in the pocket, and then he got a few runs on key downs. That's what moved for them. Every time he went deep, he got intercepted.
Here's a great poll question for you. So Jashawn Thomas, who plays for them, snapper. Okay, so he has the headband, the cleats look crisp, the sleeves, the Under Armour pants, the shorts, the headband, the whole 9. Okay. The poll question should be: do you get intimidated when you see someone come onto the field looking like he's an all-pro
Like an-
NFL player,
Like a 90s
look
tennis
good,
pro? No.
look good, feel good?
Like a 90s tennis pro from
Look good, feel
from a
good.
movie with Paul Reiser?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Like, I'm just like, wow, this guy is playing the role so perfectly that he's so irrelevant in the passing game.
You know who's playing the role poorly and also irrelevant to the passing game? Steph Fens, which is surprising because he's also the
Yeah,
quarterback.
tough start to the year.
So-
Yo, are they going to score more than a touchdown at
Nope.
any point this season?
No, well,
I don't understand how the games are that close.
so it's easy. They will if they change their quarterback.
I mean, but this is him
I mean,
trying.
it's
Like he
not
told me,
complicated.
this is the season where actually I learned something or I retire.
So we won't.
Oh,
successful.
boy.
He's been
That's
more
different.
successful in the past.
But he was, and with DGC, now the Genosaurus Rex, who were one of the most maligned early starting franchise in FPF. They were awful the first season, and then they learned a lot, and they did really well with him. And now he has his own guys,
Yeah.
and they look worse. I don't understand.
We were also saying that this DGC were a team that just needed like someone to really lead them and bring that organization. And who better than a quarterback who's won championships before, who's
Not as a quarterback.
not as a quarterback,
Yeah.
but like he knows what it takes to succeed in this division.
Yeah. Do people look at him and say he's wise just because he's bald, though?
No,
So
They don't look at him as a Yoda figure. Let's put it that way.
he is kind of like a Yoda figure,
I like that.
or Yoda figurine. In any case,
A Toyota.
Does he drive a Corolla?
Yoda Corolla. I don't know.
Can you find out for us, Eagle?
Yeah, get on what
Stefan
Stefan drives.
and ask if he drives a Corolla.
I'm gonna go with no
Just-
based on his job title.
Eagle, your role is to find out this information.
But maybe
please.
it's like a Corolla S.
Even
Like they had a model like 3
Or
years ago. It was
Tundra.
baller.
Isn't he into sports cars, like muscle cars?
maybe a Toyota
Yeah, I
Tundra.
Is
can't-
that
think
like
so.
a Charger or a Mustang? Or
He's a
Char-
Toyota Tundra
Charger.
type of guy.
Stefan's in a Charger. I don't see it.
I could see it.
I could see him like in a Ferrari.
I
But
see like a
Give me
few ads.
give me an M3.
All right, can you find out for us, please? Email him,
Mm.
please. Thank you.
So like, if it's a Charger, like midlife crisis, or just trying to like
Pick
scare,
up chicks.
trying
I
to
don't know,
pretend he's a ghost cop.
How about lots of
Ooh.
disposable income?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Actually, but you know what? Like muscle cars are not super expensive, so usually it's just because you convince yourself that you'll get head in the front seat.
Ahead of the
isn't
front
that the
seat,
whole
yes.
point of getting a
Ahead
Charger?
of the front seat.
Ahead of the front seat, yes. Into the games, guys, before we go into the next topic?
Yeah.
Yes, Jim.
Unfortunately, fighting flamingos, green means go. If there's a team in Div E1 that should be in Div E2, and I think they know it as well, just by like this team that's sort of feeling themselves, figuring it out. Green means go are definitely not an E1 team.
So as part of the placement committee for Division E,
You dropped the ball there.
I will. Well, here's the thing: is the criteria are simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the criteria is: do you have FPF experience, and especially at the quarterback position, do you have a quarterback who's been successful? Sean Modrowski, by the way, rocket arm. He throws one of the hardest 3-yard slants I've ever seen.
Minus 5 yards passing.
What, sorry.
Minus 5 yards passing.
So
Three-
he
three
throws the
15.
best backfield passes you've ever seen. But aside from that, just the familiar names on this roster, be it Brian Martin and Dave Allen, these are all guys who just their football knowledge alone should win them games in Division E, period. I don't know what's up. Jim, you were there, so do you have any like specific insight as to why Murderface can't get it done?
There's a lot of new players on this team as well, so the chemistry, inexperience. I think Sean just is starting to force the ball rather than taking what the defenses are giving him and actually really just making the reads and the progressions. But they definitely have the tools to succeed on this team. It's just it seems like they're being outclassed now by a lot of the teams in the division.
So you're just gonna be nice then. All right, got it. Cool. So like also read my article this
but,
week for
like-
why chemistry in sports is something that's made up as proven by professional sports this year.
We have our update here before we get to it. So let's make our predictions here on what Stefan's drives.
Okay.
I say Toyota Tundra. You say what again?
You said what? A Toyota Tundra?
Yeah.
No, I'm going like Lexus.
Lexus.
I'm going.
You're biased
with,
because you're thinking of Eagle.
I'm going with a black Ford Mustang.
Okay. And
M3.
Jim.
I was gonna say I didn't get color specifically, but I do know there's actually 2 options here.
'Cause he has 2 cars?
1981 Camaro is that 20.
That's the one.
For
That's the
the
muscle car.
350, I'm guessing.
And there's a BMW 328i.
All right, so Jim's the closest.
So
It says they are both probably better than me at QB.
so he's driving the BMW 320.
To be fair,
And then in the summer he's driving a
BMW
Camaro.
328i and a
Yeah.
1981 Camaro is at 28.
to be fair, if you're in a
That's the dream.
car as a quarterback, odds are you're going to score every time.
Yes, there we go. Nice.
So,
Nice.
Well then,
moving on.
moving on here as I try to get my script back
Always
up.
put your helmet on because you
no
never know where they've
Toyota
been.
Tundra.
None whatsoever, right?
Toyota Tundra?
Of all the cars.
Toyota Tundra. I don't know, man. We're talking about Toyotas, man.
Cool.
Anyway, let's go to the next topic here on this E1, E2 here.
We have no clue what it is.
Um,
The script is terrible.
On the script, dude.
Yeah, E2.
It's been
Peeze.
19 minutes. We haven't used the script yet.
Yeah, no, we do.
Well, I went
E2.
on like 3 monologues. I got another one
We
too.
have a 45-minute show here. All right, E2. When you look at the teams in E2, which ones are better suited for E1 at this point of the year, Peezler?
Well, so I'll also give some some input as to why they were put in E2 in most cases, because there are teams that were sort of on the brink. In fact, there's more surprising teams doing poorly in E1 than good teams doing well in E2. So Lost Avocados, I know they
Nice
were
uniforms, by the way.
yeah, they were in 5B and did poorly, and they were poor in Division E last spring. They've never had a plus 500 record. Also, don't forget that all of these teams will be reclassed before the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't make a ton of difference. In fact, you're sort of just building your CV. So Avocados, if you think you belong in E1, this is the time to show us how you belong in E1.
Which they are.
And they are doing that exactly. Guardians, we didn't know Pat Saint Amand would be throwing. Moo.
Nice.
OSP, we didn't know how Will Power, including myself, did not know how Will Power would do at quarterback. Last time he played quarterback, we lost 55-7. So we honestly had no idea how that would go.
Are you saying your
Spoiler,
team is
he's
too
doing
good?
okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Are you saying your team is too good for E2?
I think we could have been E1. I think we
Okay.
would have been competitive in E1.
Like strong E2, middle of the pack E1.
Exactly. Like,
Above
we- like
average.
Okay.
a 4 to 5 win team in E1.
Yeah, above average.
And average Joe's as well is like this
Well,
we've
so
never predicted or seen.
I have a question. I have comments about Average Joe's and
to it.
the racist number 1.
Wow.
Or at least
You have to go
racially
there.
insensitive. What up, Roseanne Barr? But so Easy W, we didn't know how Jeremy White would be at quarterback, but I guess in retrospect, just the athleticism of Jeremy White and Seo Living should have been a warning sign that this team might not be able to be stopped. But speaking of Average Joe's and the racially insensitive
number one.
number 1,
It's a great
the teams they've played against so far have they have only
Jesus,
one
really?
win between one win and 8 losses.
So the quality wins
Combined.
isn't
Yeah,
there.
but to be
for
fair,
So they sort of quote unquote, especially this is sort of like an NCAA format where we're ranking teams and whatever. They haven't played nobody.
yeah, but to be fair, if they played the same teams, these teams are 0-4 simply because they played these two teams.
Yes,
Right,
Okay,
but
but-
so we don't know
it's a
we
small
don't know
sample
we don't
size,
know if
right?
these are good teams beating up on bad teams or if
Yeah,
these are
exactly.
middle of the pack teams beating up on bad teams, because that's always been the issue in Division E, is that there are teams that'll win 1 or 2 games no matter who they play, and there are teams that'll win 10
Yeah,
games no matter who
But that's
they
the
play.
point.
You
I
know?
think it's for some of these teams, it's a bit too early to tell that they're too strong for the division. Simply because if you put strength of schedule in play, they haven't played enough games to make it an actual. Like, you lost to 2 strong teams. You're 0-2. Doesn't
Mhm.
make you a bad team. It just means you played better teams.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's sort of the cupcake schedule that they have right now for the first 2 games. I think the level of play will get better as we move
Mhm.
towards weeks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But when you look at the initial diagnosis, the 1 win of the average strength of schedule isn't very endearing to perhaps where they could be in the overall landscape of the playoff.
Let's not
in
forget, Average Joe's the
late
brand new
July.
team too. They're also learning as they go. So just the fact that they're able to be 3-0 at this point is good. Like, it's a very
Well,
good
they've
sign.
only averaged about 8 points a game that they've given up on defense here, which
Yeah.
is remarkable
very
because
good.
that's a huge.
But there's also a
yeah.
huge issue of disparity in the division. So like right at the moment in Division E2, there are 4 winless teams: Sandbaggers, Lemons, Oakheart, and Brewers. They're all winless, and they combined to have scored 85 points. That's less than the following teams. So those 4 teams. So in 3 games,
The total
the
points.
teams I'm going to mention have scored more points than in 12 games combined. 12
Yes.
combined games. That's Average Joe's, One Speed Power, Guardians, Avocados, Bulldogs, and EasyW have all scored more than the 4 winless teams combined. I don't think. I mean, this is one of those things I'm going to say with nothing to back me up. So I feel like
That's
Simon,
Simon saying
who is a wonderful person, and I love him
Huge
deeply.
hearts.
And
Huge
I have
hearts.
no choice but to be saying the things I'm saying.
Huge hearts.
Because he eats poorly.
Wow.
So,
wow.
but that said, I think this is the greatest disparity we've had in Division E for as long as I've been
Whose
covering.
fault is that? Peeze and the.
To a degree,
allocation.
look, Division
it's
E,
only Peeze.
we're experimenting with things, right? So we don't actually know going in. There's more anonymity and more variables than there are in any other division. So we're trying to find ways to solve this. So far, we found things that are interesting for FPF content, but we haven't found necessarily a way to solve this. I was going to ask you guys: is it time now for Division 7?
Yes.
Yeah, but how many teams are going to be Division 7 then?
No,
We said that about Division 6. We said that about Division E. We said about Division 5 years
but
ago.
having a
But
divi- no, but
The
having a
league's
Division
only
7
growing.
But sorry, Samar, are we diluting the product of Division E and Division 6 at that point?
I thought about it, and that's wrong because there are teams that start in Division E every season or Division 6 every season, and they move up. We don't actually get more amazing and more terrible teams on average. What we do is get more average teams that fit Division 4, 5, 3.
No, but let's not forget if we added Division 7,
Mhm.
it also allows let's say Division F, which is the worst of
Whatever
names,
it
let's say Division F that would allow
Man, that would suck to be in Division F.
like
Oh,
like
man.
10 teams from Division D to move down to Division E,
Mhm.
and 20 teams from Division E to move down to Division F, right? So it would also create a stronger Division E, slightly stronger Division D, and a weaker Division F.
There
Yeah.
would also in Division F there would be a much bigger disparity because these unknown teams, especially a team like Average Joe's, if we're putting Average Joe's against
Yes.
the lowest like
They run them off.
like 20%.
But that's
of
so every
E2.
time we start a new division, that happens.
Yeah, but that happened with Division 6.
And that happened with
Division
Game Changers
5.
Division
we're-
5. That
we're
happened with
minimizing it. We're localizing it just to that division then.
well until that division grows to be 28 teams, which it will because that always happens.
Yeah.
Because we're growing at an unprecedented rate, by the way.
The one thing you guys are completely forgetting about is the logistics around adding in a new division now with the cap system, in that there are thresholds per each one. And so by adding in a new division, you're not actually adding in a level underneath Division 6.
Yeah, you're
you're just
integrating
crunching the middle piece.
yeah.
So if anything, it makes more sense to have a D3, if anything, or a Division 5
But that, we're just calling.
rather than
but
move
either
up.
way,
Because it's
we're
still
calling them
thresholding
different
within
things.
a bracket.
Yeah, we're calling them different things, Eagle. But I'm saying to add a 7th division in a
Yes.
sense, you know.
So rather than go down, you want to move up then in Division
What?
4.
Not really. It's just Eagles being stupid by being smarter than all of us.
Well,
You're
but-
going from the 18 to 35 market into 18 to 25 and 26 to 35, right? You have to split
are we
existing
dating?
rather than add. I'm using like an age demographic
it's
breakdown
the
as an example.
worst radio.
Okay, so right now, gentlemen,
Numbers radio or dating radio. I love
is
dating
there
radio.
Dating radio is
right
good.
now if we
I like how
had
they asked for a solution to this and then don't want to hear the actual
Up top,
proposed
baby.
solution.
sir. It's been our memo for 4
If-
years.
right now, gentlemen, if you go into week 4, would there be a team in E2 that can beat a team in E1 this weekend if they play?
What's the E1 team and what's the E2 team?
Let's
Who would they
say
play?
we will go, I don't know, Los Avocados
Yeah.
against Bruins, for example.
Yes, avocados can beat Bruins,
I agree.
especially if Gab Wiseman is not there.
I
Which,
think
by the way, they're pretty good considering they haven't had
Are.
Gab Wiseman, and the only game they've played is the game he started but got hurt. They've been better than expected in dealing with his injury.
there's a few teams in Division E2 that I think could play every week.
Such
in
as?
Division E, like Easy Win, for instance. I think every week, depending on, even if they play pension plan, I still don't think they're that far off.
You know which one I'm going to say?
OSP?
Nope. Moo. But yeah, I guess again,
Move on.
OSP depending
OSP
on
have-
the team,
Exactly,
it would be
but I think
matchup reliant.
OSP also
But
have the depth and the knowledge that they would be able to.
yeah,
All right, right now,
old
these
madness.
gentlemen, in the PC playoffs here,
Will's like super young.
Will
is
He's
like
the only one though.
616. Petriplan, the U, Clinkers, Glow Gang, and Rancers are all undefeated. Who is the number 1 seed if you had to do it today, gentlemen?
Pension plan. I would rank it because I would rank it pension plan, clinkers, the U, Glow Gang, Rancers.
Mo, I thought you loved me.
And we actually do
Why?
have comments on Facebook
Wait.
Live.
Wait,
hold on,
we're gonna
why?
find out
Why?
why Mo doesn't love me.
Why?
Why don't you read my article? Every week,
I'm
Marc-Andre Delaunier and I post our top 16.
Well, ask him all, though.
Yeah, he did ask me.
So you'll see when my article comes out
I
this
know.
week.
I'm just asking right now.
It was just a clever plug.
I know, but
I
you know what?
didn't want to make you feel
Speaking
bad.
of articles,
But you know what, PZ? You don't have to give out the other 15 picks. This
That's
got to be your
true.
first pick.
All right, I will give my first. It's this week. So this is it's still a power ranking. So it's based on where I think you are currently in the season. Not a mindless prediction for the future because that's stupid. So I'm going to go right now. Currently, pension plan number 1 team.
Okay,
you heard it here first.
yeah,
Dreamers Fair.
read his article, which I didn't
Read it for the other 15 and for
Yeah.
what Marc Andre thinks, even though he's wrong.
Yeah.
We do have Facebook Live comments talking
Oh,
about some of those teams.
Whoa, wait, this is important, Eagle.
Hold on. Is it our boy Duke?
No.
All right, even better. Let's go.
He's not eligible for the prize.
It's actually Max Ledoux saying
What's up,
that
Max?
this weekend,
What's up?
or this upcoming week, there's a matchup between Glow Gang and Rancers, and that it's going to be very exciting.
So, okay,
Paraphrasing.
here's a question for you boys then, right? 2 teams.
Sounds like a game of the week.
Yeah, it does sound like a game of the week, Lance Daniel. If these 2 teams undefeated,
Never lost.
obviously not. if whoever wins this game, do they jump up to the number 1 seed?
Well, it depends who's
Based on
playing.
Peace's definition of the number 1 seed, yes.
Who's Benchaplan playing?
Well, yeah, I guess
Well, I'm
it's.
saying though, we supposedly the
I mean, we also have two
top
members
5
of the Division E selection committee.
I know, but I'm saying the top
So-
5. I think I would value this game right now, regardless of who wins,
If
as
one team in the top beats another team in the top,
Yeah, in the
right?
top
Yeah,
top
so
five
like,
matchup,
so the
right?
quality of wins is going to matter. Eagle is very slowly, and of course, like, once again, failing to meet deadlines.
Apparently, he
Uh,
has a real job.
yeah.
How we
He's going to have a strength of schedule analyzer, which we'll begin to use as content week 5. It's supposed to be week 3,
know. Maybe week 9.
but we actually absolutely need it.
It was
by week
not
5.
supposed to be week
It
3.
was. It
You
was.
said, "Can I get it for week 3?" And
I
told
believe
you
you
no.
said.
Okay, enough of your argument.
I believe
here,
you said,
Eagle.
Papi Chulo. It will be ready.
But
Hi, Pappy.
in this case, though, isn't this justified to say whoever wins this game should be the number 1 seed because it's a
In
top
E2?
5 matchup
No.
for E1?
No, because Benchaplan.
Not necessarily a top seed in E1, but they will be a sort of top-ish seed, say top 10 for now.
They would be
Based
top
on,
of that
but
power
again, we'll have
ranking.
to see what Guardians do, what do Pension Plan do, and other teams that may or may not be in my top my top
but
few rankings.
If the number 1 team doesn't lose, it's not their fault they're not playing stronger teams. They didn't do their own schedule.
Okay, so if they don't lose, then let's say
As long as
The-
Benchaplan
Like
remains
average Joe's, for
All right,
example.
so yeah,
undefeated, they'll remain number
all right,
1
so-
unless they start winning by 1 point.
Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do then? So let's say we have average Joes. Okay, average Joes will qualify and make the playoffs. Let's say.
Yep.
So will Pension Plan. Right?
Yep.
Pension Plan goes 9-1.
Okay.
The only loss is to another 9-1 team in Division E1.
Okay.
Average Joes is 10-0. Who's the top seed in Division E1 playoff?
I will look at who both teams played and where.
And
So the
the,
opposite of the thing you
and
just
the
said.
percentage
No, no,
of
no.
I mean,
I'm
sorry,
saying-
Simo, you're a wonderful human,
the
and
strength of schedule
No, I
too
would
help.
say.
I would give you a Nobel Prize just for your sexuality.
Yeah, but the strength
No,
of
I would
schedule
say
would
the
help.
number
though.
one. The number 1 team could be that 9-1 team that beat Benchaplan to become the number 1 team
But what about the 10-0 team?
in a lower that beat weaker teams. They would probably still be.
But what if they beat every team by 75?
Then that's a.
So, there's
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
conversations that need to be had about that.
That's true. Like if they beat every team by 75.
Tune in each week Thursdays at 7:30.
Well,
But-
45.
Okay,
Well, do you want to save that? Do you want to save that one for games of the week? Actually, GM Rancers.
Yeah, we'll
okay,
save that for
okay.
games of the week. But let's just say you guys have pension plans. Your number 1 team reads Peaze's article for the other 15 teams. But if whatever, let's say Ranchers win, should they not move up to the number 2 spot at least because of their quality?
Depending
of
though,
victories?
because like what do you do with Guardians who will likely be undefeated because they're cheaters? What will you do with Pension Plan if they're still undefeated? What do you do with
with
EZW if they well no EZW has a loss, but also like I have a whole thing where I don't actually count week 1 losses to mean
What's
much
a week 1?
because week 1 like a lot of guys haven't played for like 6-7 weeks
Yeah,
or
depending.
sometimes like a whole year because they only play in springtime.
Yeah, it's true, which is quite odd actually.
Yeah, so
All right, team of the week, underdogs, 2-1.
Mhm.
Their key players.
Eagle and I
Ron
saw them
Castiel.
firsthand. We actually
Yes,
played against them
that's
in
why.
a week 1 game.
Which
I'll
they
look at
did
that.
defeat you guys.
Yep.
Because week 1 doesn't matter. Blah 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 blah. blah.
They
It's like,
defeated.
it's like you've read the script and planned it ahead of time.
I was
The
trying to lead
Tyrannosaurus
Mo to
Rex.
get to that.
Lost to avocados as well. In your mind, gentlemen, are they the pretender or contender? 2-1. They beat 2 okay teams and lost to a solid Los Avocados team, which we've been heaping praise the last 2 weeks.
So I'm gonna let Eagle start because he doesn't get enough spotlight. He's
He does. Well, forget about Eagle, man. GM. That's who we should be giving.
okay. GM,
Hi.
how's it going, buddy?
I'm well, thanks.
Underdogs, go.
Underdogs go.
Pretender or contender?
At this point in the season, like, there needs to be more strength of schedule wins for me to put them in the contender role. So for right now, pretender.
Eagle? Now you can come on there.
I think they have the tools to be a contender, but that right now they're going to beat up on some weaker teams,
Yeah.
be competitive in some of the middle matchups, and get destroyed by the stronger teams. So I think they need to learn how to gel together as a unit because they're really reliant on, I would say, 2-3 players tops. And if they're either not playing well or being taken away, they're not going to have much.
How happy are you that I did prep instead of Eagle's just generic ramblings of
I
the
don't
things
know.
he
Yeah,
says
I
about
just tuned in
I don't
Eagle
know.
like 5
Yeah, I
seconds
wasn't
ago.
listening.
I know half prep right here.
No, I
First
know.
time of all time.
I'm saying Eagle was the least prepped on that one. Probably because you didn't know I'd go to him because he's the producer of the show. But so having played them, I
Yes.
can say firsthand what they do well. is something that a lot of Division E teams don't do well. In the red zone, they attack the back of the end zone. So if you play just like lanes, they actually have the ability to complete passes at the back of the end
And
zone.
they have height.
And they have height and speed.
Yeah. That's how you
Um,
beat the zone coverage. And
The other thing they do is Adam Smoller and Ryan Castillo are Ryan Castillo. I made him Latin.
Castillo.
Ryan Castillo is they're great.
It sounds like Castillo.
Yeah, Castillo. They're great players, and I actually Adam Smoller is a great dude. And one of the things they do bad, or they do poorly, is they don't react and adapt well on defense. So we kept running like fly post or like fly seam at them, like just 2 deep routes because Adam Smoller was the only one deep, and he kept turning to us. He's like, "Why you guys both keep running deep? like stop it!" And so Eagle in that game, how many seams and posts were open
that I saw
Yeah.
that we didn't throw to.
that we didn't throw because it was Will Power's first game?
Honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, about 6.
Yeah. So, like, if they play against teams who are, more, let's say, more experienced at quarterback position or better at quarterback position, they'll have that's 6 touchdowns. That's 6 walk-in touchdowns.
It's also week 1, and maybe they learn from
Understandable. It just, to me, it's one of the things that's hardest to develop is communication on defense.
Okay, so if they make the playoffs, Brett Rosenberg, 9 teams through 3 games. That's 3 per game right now. Do you trust him in the playoffs? And would that factor in the decision making of where they would be ranked because of the quarterback play being a little bit skeptical early on?
Yes and no,
How so?
because he has 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Why? Because it's his first 3
I didn't
games.
hear any question.
Like, it's his first real season as a quarterback. Give him a chance. Give him time. We'll see in the second half of the
Yeah.
season if he still throws 9 interceptions last 3 games. Then I would agree with you. Until then, they're learning things. Like Peeze said, there's a few mistakes on defense. If we watch them in week 6, is the same mistakes there? Are their defense still allowing 2 guys to go deep with only 1 defender, or did they finally fix it and they found what to do? If that's the case, they're learning, they're improving. The team's much better. I think we're overreacting to small things at the moment that I think this team could be much better than they currently are
I like big things.
if we
by
give
the
them
way.
time.
I say yes. Oh, sorry. I'll let GM go. 'cause
Oh
you
yeah,
can get
it's
in.
just I was waiting for this topic to be over because we have a write-in.
Then I'll finish the topic.
Yes,
Uh,
perfect.
So I will say yes and no to one question, whether or not it'll affect him. So it depends on the kind of interception. So,
Well, 9's a lot in 3 games.
so here's the thing. So if you're taking a shot deep and the ball just doesn't get there, or it's like, your footwork's a mess in Division E, that kind of happens. But where the more problematic interceptions to me are bad reads. And there was a play where Eagle told Mike Adonna, stand right here on the goal line. And Brett Rosenberg threw the ball to Mike Adonna as if he was the receiver.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And so, like,
genius over there.
but there are times with young quarterbacks, and Brett Rosenberg is somewhat guilty of this. Otherwise, by the way, very good. And I don't want to sound like I'm hating on them because I
think
thought they
you
were
are.
very good.
You are.
You think so, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
you-
is.
Whatever, I'm hating on them. I
Straight
don't
hate.
care.
No questions.
but
He's
I
hating
don't
on
know.
these guys.
It is what it is.
Yes.
But Brett Rosenberg, don't make the read in the huddle, because that'll cause trouble. Because if the guy tells you I was open, the defense knows he was open and will adapt, especially as you get into the
We
playoffs.
call that the gatehouse.
Yes, Eagle, before we get to the last part of this question.
I was just going to say, one thing you have to watch out for is those defenses that are not doing the exact same thing every game, because exactly that, I knew where he was going to be looking, and he looked he thought there was going to be no one there, and there was, because we hit him the last play and everything. So you got to watch out for the little tiny things.
All right, record prediction, guys, and which playoff bracket will they be in your humble opinion?
I think they'll be sort of 5-5, 6-4, and because of that, they'll kind of fall into a higher, let's say a 4 or 5 seed in the E2 playoffs.
Okay, fair enough then.
So we have a write-in.
Yes, Jim, I was going to do right now.
Marc-Andre Delaunay.
What's up, MA?
Oh, yes.
Average Joes will not be 10-0. Lol.
I got
Lol as in
Great
like-
analysis.
LOLL.
Oh,
I thought lull yourself to sleep.
yeah,
like
that's
lullaby.
what I thought.
That would have been great.
Yeah, like going
From
to
now,
sleep.
from now
Your
on,
team is so boring.
instead of LOL, just type lullaby. See what happens.
See what
Let's try and bring it back. I have some reporting to do on Marc-Andre Delaunay from an unnamed source because I'm
Yes.
not Simon.
That's Nashville.
He's not going to like this. And I like Marc-Andre. You like Marc-Andre. We
Yes.
worked with him.
We do.
So he's like we're proud of his work
He's a
and
nice
his
guy.
development. He's a super good guy. But someone said of him this
Who are you?
week that he's lucky he has so many good receivers who can go get his floaters.
Oh, who said that? Oh man, we got to put that on the poll. Who said that?
I don't know. I'm not Simo, so I don't
me.
divulge my
You
sources.
should. People
Al-
love that.
Although if this person was asked, he would not deny it.
Oh man.
It must be Duke.
Speaking of receivers, I
How would
think
he
it's Duke.
know?
I think it's Duke.
Duke hasn't watched an FPF game in 12 years.
Duke says these things.
And he hasn't played for and he's played in some of those years.
Theo Levine, Tom Zarko, Louis Bijan are on pace for 20 touchdowns. Who's the first one to hit that mark?
The first one, or who hits that mark?
Who be the
You said the first one, and I'll go with Thomas Zorko.
Tom Zarko.
I think because the ball is fed to him so frequently that he's the most likely to hit it.
So in fantasy football, are you the guy who drafts based on role rather than like player ability? Like this guy's not necessarily talented, but he's going to get 100
No, Jim,
passes
if you're
thrown
getting
at him.
points in garbage time, there's still points.
No,
Exactly.
GM, he's not a Seahawk. You won't draft him.
That's true.
I
Based on
got
last
made
year's draft.
fun of for drafting Russell Wilson like a round and a half early, and that was like the top performer of fantasy 2017.
That's the over anxious
So-
move.
But then what about
Which
the
ended up being
what about
great
the other
because they
four
had no running
Seahawks?
game.
What
Yeah,
about
they
the
had
other four Seahawks on your team?
Jimmy Graham?
He
At
took
least I made
Thomas
good
Rawls.
Seahawks. Yeah, Thomas Rawls.
He took Walter Jones. He's not even playing as a whole lineman for the team.
That's a Hall of Famer
What
right
was
there.
it?
You
No, I
shut
think-
your mouth about Walter Jones.
Sean
Go with
Alexander.
the Eagle
Sean
strategy.
Alexander, yes, bring him in. Marshawn Lynch, welcome back. He knows a Raider.
Go
John
with the
Kitna.
Eagle strategy. Just auto draft. Year 1, you make finals. Year 2, you're a bottom dweller.
You do live in the
Somehow
basement.
they
so-
were-
Who do you got though? Making 20 touchdowns, the first player out of these three.
So I'm tempted to go Zorko just because of the targets, but I think just as targeted and faster
Louis Bijan.
than every other person on the field is Theo Levine.
Okay.
Theo Levine's already at 8 touchdowns.
They're all at 8.
They're all at
now.
8?
Yeah.
The thing with Charles Olivier is they're not 40 bombs. They're like hooks.
For like
Like
200
200
yards. that end up
hooks,
being
baby.
Yeah, he's like,
35
oh, 2-yard
touchdowns.
hook. And it's a 40 bomb because he jukes the entire team.
Yeah.
He could
He's like Bo Jackson.
he
out the
could
tackle
potentially
ball.
walk and still
Nice.
juke QBs.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he's a freak athlete.
remarkably fast.
I think all three guys could make it to 20. The only reason Louis Bijan won't make it is because he won't finish the season because he's going to
Yeah.
get hurt.
Yeah, he's like the Chris Chandler of football players in FPF, man. Always getting hurt. It is
the
now time
Peeze.
for the week of the games brought to you by GM. As GM now
Not the
gets-
cards.
So, the first one that was disclosed earlier,
Yes.
Rancer's Glow Gang.
Give me Glow Gang.
I got Ranchers, man.
So the things I'm going to consider, because I'm going to pick this in Marc André's article, is do we believe in Rancer's defense to be able to stop Arnaud Desjardins' offense that has not yet fully gotten going yet?
Do you crack?
I,
Did
a
your voice
little
crack?
bit, little bit of puberty,
Yeah.
yeah, up in here, up in here.
Puberty at
Full
45.
question.
That's going to be the main storyline is whether or not Arnaud Desjardins is going to be able to get his offense to play the way we thought they would going into
Yeah.
the season, and whether or not Rancer's defense is just a product of playing poor offenses so
Mhm.
far this season. But I will say, having watched them, their defense is amazingly reactive and so good at breaking on the ball.
All right, Simo, who you got?
I told you. Glow Gang.
I got Ranchers. GM, who you got?
Give me Rancer's.
Eagle?
He doesn't know
Eagle-
because
Eagle
he's zero prep.
Next.
Loyola's finest pension plan.
Finals coming off a loss.
Yeah.
This is a good game, actually. This might be a quality victory game right
To
here.
read about that game,
Yes, go to
Go
Peace's
to
article.
Peace's article.
I'll be on sale.
I will say I'm disappointed
What are you
in both
gonna
their
do?
name change and jersey change.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta do like
No,
a pay-
they changed campuses. Think
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
Dawson's
They went
Calf.
from Cégep to university.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like a TV show, like 90210, going from high school to.
I have so many bad memories of hour and a half long bus rides to Loyola campus, so I'll never
By the way, should
be a
Peeze
fan.
put his article for a pay subscription type of thing? You pay $1 per
That'd
week,
be awesome.
and then you
be
read
awesome.
his article, top 15 picks.
The problem is you would make like $6.
You
Probably.
say that, but I got the highest click rate, so
I feel like we should make
We
a
don't
Patreon
know.
account just for this.
I know, right?
What you got? Yeah, Simon.
Pension plan.
Yeah, I got pension plan as well.
So, yeah, so you got to consider, of course, the old
All-
madness of
All
pension
you
plan.
gotta consider is no one can guard Junior Sparrow.
Well, one thing I will say
here we go on
is
that
my
jargon again.
unnamed source said of pension plan this week that they're too old for those guys to be playing two ways.
I think Peeze uses his own source. Next,
I'm
we
not.
got-
I was on the field. I was hurt.
So if said person who doesn't disclose, and you can come back to me with this if you want, but if said person who doesn't disclose says that about them, what's their ranking in E1 or E2? Like if they're putting up those numbers, those guys who shouldn't be playing both ways, what does that say about you?
Not much. We're covered
Question as old as time,
Next
my
game
friend.
here. Let's go, boys.
Los Avocados, Bulldogs.
I got the avocados.
Yes, sir.
tune into my article. Let's work on this
Jesus.
article.
Grinders, Krakens.
This
Let's
is
read
interesting.
that
Kraken's kind of going the wrong way. Grinders is still a team that I thought they would do better just with their higher division experience. It has not happened yet.
I got Grinders.
Give me Krakens.
All right, next. Any more?
No, that's it. That's 4.
All right. Okay, Peasy's back in the saddle. What I learned today was that his source is himself.
You know what I learned
It's not.
today is if I start saying random things and just say undisclosed source, it's journalism.
No, but it actually is. I have a source.
Sources who may be familiar to the situation, close to the situation, said so.
I learned that Marc-André Delorier agrees with Peeze that his wide receivers make him look good.
So you're referring to yourself, Eagle?
He's not.
I know. Match your words, please.
And now a story of a podcast going off the rail and the one podcast host who was sent to save it.
Time for me to break my fast.